Hey, everybody, and welcome to the 11th episode of the WHYBUT podcast. Of the WHYBUT podcast. I'm going to start that again. Give me a second. Hey, everybody, and welcome to the 11th episode of the What Have You Been Up To podcast. My name is Isaac, and I'm joined, of course, by my co-host, Nick. Nick, we have a WHYBUT Discord that people can join. Link is in the description. And in that Discord, Nick, we get questions from time to time. This one, Nick, is a little bit of a wordy question, but stick with me, all right? So I have a question here from the Danish editor, who must be some kind of video production worker in Denmark, I assume. He tagged me, at Isaac, "You won't believe what happened to me the other day. So I was out at the grocery shopping, fairly late in the day, around dinner time. Usually the time in which the least people are out shopping on a Friday." You find that to be true, Nick? Least people out on a Friday, like dinner time?
Saturday at dinner time, I find. I've never been out on a Friday at dinner time, but so I do understand the premise there.
Oh, fair enough. He says, but the market was fairly packed. Is this guy shopping at a market? Must be a millionaire. Anyway, so there I was, doing my thing, minding my own business, and I figured I'd go into the toys section as my niece's birthday is coming up. I basically just wanted to see if there were any late presents I could perhaps buy for her and get ready before her second birthday. That's nice of him. I was checking out the toys all around and walked past the Lego section. He put Lego in all caps. You can tell it's from Denmark. You know, they've got pride for the Lego there. The Lego section, and a random child came up to me and asked, "Do you also have kids?" I was shortly quite staggered. I was shortly quite staggered by the random child asking me if I had kids, but I figured he was asking that since I was checking out kids' toys. Not wanting him to think I would buy kids' toys for myself, which I totally do as well, I answered, "No, I have a niece." "How old is she?" he asked. To which I said, "Turning 2 very soon." He said, "Do you have a lot of money?" He then asked me, and I replied, "I don't know." Okay, I am 6 years old, so I can walk around the store alone, he told me. Not knowing what to reply with, I just stayed silent. Then he started looking at the Lego boxes on the shelves and said, "I got this one, and this one, and this one too, and this big one here," pointing at a big box of Lego Minecraft. "That's a lot of Lego. That's pretty cool," I replied. "The next part is going to surprise you." He then looked at me, and we made eye contact. "Hey, speaking of Minecraft, do you know Nik and Isaac of the famous Nik and Isaac podcast?" It's actually the WHYBUT podcast, but we'll let the kids slide. I chuckled a bit and said, "Yeah, I'm a fairly regular chatter of theirs, and also a member of the Nik and Isaac Discord server, which you can find over at discord.whybut.co. He then asked me, "Do you know what they've been up to lately?" And I believe the question here, Nick, is that the Danish editor doesn't know what we've been up to lately, and so here we are once again. Nick, what have you been up to, man?
Wow. I'm enthralled by this story, by the way.
A little wordy, probably could have been condensed a little bit, but, I appreciate the question, Nick, so...
Yes, same. No, I love it. Thank you, Danish. Big applause there, big applause. You should write a book. Your storytelling skills
but maybe
are
get a different editor to do the editing on the book, cut out the fat.
Just put it into ChatGPT and don't worry about it, okay? Isaac, I have been up to a few different things. I had a snack, actually, before we started today. Rice Krispies Squares bars, Isaac. You familiar with these
I am familiar
devices?
With these, yeah. Yep.
I'd never really noticed them or cared about them or had one until about 2 weeks ago. And I feel like I just can't unsee them everywhere after
they are everywhere.
2 weeks ago.
I'm surprised at this, man. I have probably not had one in like 10 years, but then the only time I did have them is like on the very rare occasions, my mum would buy them when we were in school, and I would take them as like part of a lunch, like a packed lunch. They're just like little, they're very sweet. I probably wouldn't give them to a child, but they're sweet. They're just like Rice Krispies that are like held together by like presumably some kind of syrup. And then it's like kind of like a flapjack, but made of Rice Krispies, right? It's kind of the best way I can think to describe it instead of like oats. So I'm surprised that it's taking you this long to find out that these exist, man.
I mean, some of the friends who provided these to me are like fanatics of the things, right? Like they will go to a shop and buy like industrial scales of Rice Krispies Squares bars, right? Like It's quite crazy. And they absolutely love them. So this was like really played up to me. And I had a chocolatey one. It was like chocolate flavored, I guess if you could call it that.
Sure.
I thought it was all right, but I wasn't a massive fan. You know,
they're not. I don't think they're that good, man. I think they're fine. They're like that. I wouldn't buy them. Like as a child, I love them, right? Because they're just the sugar. But like as an adult, I probably wouldn't buy them because they're not that great. I don't think.
No, like it kind of got stuck in my teeth a little bit, and you're right, it was very sweet. I just kind of, and it got everywhere. This is my problem with bars of that side. There's just
Nick, I've told you, man, you've got to stop tearing your food apart, just ripping it into chunks and throwing it around. You can't do it, man.
I can't help it. I had to eat these things over the sink to stop the crumbs from going everywhere.
This is why you've got to go to the restroom 8 times during a dinner out, right? Because you've got to wash your hands and your face and everything. I keep telling him not to order soup, but he does it every time. Croutons flying around the place.
I need to take a bib with me, man, honestly. I need to like a
hazmat suit.
Hazmat suit, yeah, exactly. Funnily enough, I went to a Halloween party this weekend. I was away, and I wore a Money Heist costume. Isaac, I don't know if you're familiar with the TV show Money Heist on Netflix.
It's a non-English TV show, right?
Correct. It's Spanish.
Yes.
So Spanish TV show. It concluded, I want to say last year or this year, something like that. I've
not seen the show, but I've seen the screenshots and stuff of it.
Okay. So you're familiar with.
What do you think? Do you like the show? Would you recommend it?
I would. I've seen the first 3 seasons, and the first 2 seasons were great. Season 3, the whole thing was just starting to become a little bit unrealistic, right? Like the plot armor was getting, it was made of adamantium, man. Like these people would be like, like 2-meter range of these protagonists.
And missing.
And it would be like pinging off them, they were missing, like it was absolutely crazy. And they were just, the whole thing was just getting more and more far-fetched.
It's just like us in Payday 3, man. You know?
Exactly. No, exactly. Legit.
The officers, there's like 5 police officers all shooting from a meter away, and we're just soaking up the shots.
Yeah, we're just taking it in. Just go to the bathroom, get a quick like health pack, and we're sorted, Isaac. So yes, I've not watched the final season. I've heard that the final season is very much more of an amplified version of the last season that I watched, so even more far-fetched and even more plot armory. So I've not watched the end, but I watched the first 2 seasons. So I was really struggling for costume ideas. A friend of mine actually provided the inspiration, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go on Amazon. I'm going to order a Money Heist costume. Usually in past, when I've ordered Halloween costumes, they've been quite expensive. This one was 20 quid, which I actually thought was quite reasonable, given that it was 2 days before the party and like a week before Halloween, when everyone's trying to like
talking about here, though?
Right?
Is it just like a cloak or like?
So we're talking orange jumpsuit, right? Orange jumpsuit with a hood. Then we've got a Salvador Dali style mask. You might have seen those in the screenshots, of the masks that they wear.
Yeah.
And then a inflatable rifle. And the inflatable rifle, I was actually quite impressed that they included that. Yeah. It was a pretty complete set. So it was good. And I got a lot of compliments. Now, usually I'm not very environmentally friendly, shall we say, and I usually ditch these things after the parties.
As soon as it gets home, sets them on fire.
That's it, legit.
Burns them.
Get rid of them, use them as fuel. However, the jumpsuit, the zip-up jumpsuit, I realised would be perfect as a painting and decorating jumpsuit. It'd be brilliant.
You know a painting, man? Like a lot of just like
I do absolutely none.
I had a feeling that you did.
But should the situation arise, you know, anything that's required, do they say, oh, wear an old t-shirt, you know, wear an old used raggedy jumper? I was like, this is perfect. I can dress up like effectively in an orange jumpsuit, looking a bit like a prisoner,
Right.
and I can paint and decorate. I can also lend it to other people. I think that was my more primary thought. I was like, I'm not going to do any painting or decorating myself, but I know a couple of people that might need to in the near to moderately medium term, so I can lend it to them. So yes, no, that was very good. I have no idea how we got onto this. But yeah. So that was something else that I've been up to, Isaac. I've been away quite a bit last couple of weeks. I was up north. I was up north at the Lake District, part of the UK.
Sure,
it's very lovely.
You see
got a lot of
lakes?
kind of mountainous areas, lots of lakes. Yes, lots of lakes.
As the name would suggest, doesn't hold back. Some places do,
no,
some places they've got a name and then there's nothing like it,
Right,
yeah.
right, yeah. I feel like the UK tends to be quite good with that. Like the Peak District is full of mountains and hills.
Yeah.
What else? What other districts do we have?
I don't have a clue, man.
District 9. Hey, why is District 9 called District 9? Does it have 9 in it, Isaac? Is that lying?
Maybe.
Maybe
everything's
lying?
a multiple of 9, to be fair.
Okay, fair enough. However, the thing that I wanted to bring to your attention, Isaac, I'm sending you une photo right now, is the shower at the Airbnb I was staying at and the accommodation I was staying at.
I've still never used Airbnb, man. Not a single time.
Yeah, that's quite crazy.
I look through. The thing is, the reason why is like usually I'll just go book a hotel, right? And I only hear bad things about Airbnb. I don't know if it's like confirmation bias, but the only time I ever hear about Airbnb, it's negative. It's people complaining about like overly aggressive like policies that people impose while they're there, or it's like someone getting a bill for like $500 for cleaning fees, and the thing they needed to clean was like one dot of water on the floor that they left when they didn't. It's all I hear is bad stuff about Airbnb. So I've never used it, man.
Yeah,
the shower is wild though.
I've never had a bad experience with Airbnbs. I tend to use them when I'm sharing with other people and we're splitting the payment, because that's when it tends to kind of be quite economical. If I was going somewhere on my own or, staying with one person, a hotel we would usually tend to go for. But yeah, no, never had a bad experience. I do get the cleaning fees and high the high level of strictness with policies recently, with deposits and cleaning fees and stuff like that. I actually didn't use Airbnb specifically to book this. It was on Airbnb, but there was another site that this place was listed on that was cheaper.
B&B Air.
And
exactly.
B&B Air. Or was it Land B&B? Water B&B. But yes, I saw this shower, Isaac, in the bathroom I was staying at, and I was confused, intrigued, mesmerized. I saw it and I was like, okay, this is weird. So, would you like to describe the image you're seeing, Isaac, for those people who
I assume this is like a cropped image that I'm looking at.
This is a cropped image, yes.
Yeah, the resolution looks lower than standard.
Yes, correct.
But I'm not actually quite sure what I'm looking at here, Nick. I see wooden beams along the roof. I then see some kind of shower head protruding from the wall, but that looks like is this like a glass door, like
that's a glass partition?
Okay,
yes, that's a glass
that makes
partition.
sense. So there's a glass partition that's being held up to the beam, and then there's just this shower head that looks immovable, but there's two shower heads that are just kind of dangling, or just like being held up by this protrusion. I don't know what in the world. I've never seen anything like this, Nick.
I'd never seen anything like this. So immediately I was like, so we've got internationally, right, fixed shower heads that are attached to walls, right? Sometimes you also get a fixed shower head that's attached to the wall that kind of hangs over the user. And then there is a secondary handheld wand shower head, right?
Yeah. Is this how your house is? Like, does your shower have this, or do you just have the one shower head?
So I have just the one shower head.
Yes.
Which is
but it's movable.
a wand. Yes. Exactly.
So I have the same thing where it's just like it's a holdable thing, and then it's got like a circular disc head that then projects water down. But you can unhook it from the top and use it wherever you like if you want to remove it from the from its stationary position.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
follow-up question. I don't want to divert too much. Do you ever take it off when you're showering? I leave mine in position the whole time, like 99% of the time.
This is part of the debate, man. This is part of the debate, right? So this is why I just wrote the topic showers in our topic list, because this is we can go deep here. So the answer is no. And actually, usually when I'll give you the reason why first. So the reason
you're saying no, you don't move it. It stays.
So yes, I do move it.
Oh,
right?
I see. Okay, right.
So I don't keep it fixed in position.
Right.
The reason is because when I moved into my apartment, I actually had a fixed shower head, right? But I strongly dislike just having a fixed shower head. So what I did was I unscrewed the fixed shower head from its position on the top side of the wall. And I just screwed in like a normal shower hose into it.
Right.
And then I basically turned this fixed shower head into a normal hose style shower, right? Yeah. But because the bathroom was designed such that it only had a fixed shower head, there's no holder for the wand, right? The movable wand. So I just rest it on the floor of the shower cubicle. Yeah. So now I am limited to only having it in my hand and moving it about.
I see. Right. Okay. So, but just to clarify, if this wasn't the case, I assume you've lived in places previously where, like for me, it's just shower, and then the head's like here, right, tilted down, pointing at me, and like you can adjust it like this to face how you want it to. And I'm just moving my hands up and down. You can like rotate it to go like further down or further up, and I kind of just point mine how I want it to be pointed, and then stand under it and let the water wash over me, as it were. I don't move the shower head. Like 99% of the time I'm in the shower. I might occasionally, but most of the time I don't. Most of my showers, I just turn it on and I go. If you had this style of shower, which I assume you've had before, do you then still unhook and use it manually, or do you just leave it attached?
So I would. So what I would do is I'd get in. The initial, I'd turn it on. Yeah. The initial rinse. You know, you feel a bit cold in the morning. You want to warm up. I would just stand under the shower head that is in its holder. Yep. Get all warm. Then I would soap up. Do a bit of a lather. Right. And then I would unhook it. Right. And wash all of the soap off.
Oh, I see.
With it in my hand, right? Get into all those nooks and crannies, right?
See, I don't
get into all them nooks and crannies. I love
this, man. I do the same thing. I'll get in the shower, you know. I'll let the water wash over me. You know, you want to be fully moistened up before you begin any shower activities. I usually like wash my hair first, but when it comes to the body washing stage, I have a loofah, right, that I take. I will, you know, put some body wash with some persuasion. Right now I have mango smelling. I was going to say flavored, but I don't eat it. Onto the loofah, you know, give it a good mix. Make sure there's some water on the loofah. Scrub yourself up. But then I will just kind of rinse off the loofah in water, and then I just stand under the water, and then also just use the loofah again once it's been removed of its soap to kind of wash everything off like a second time, if that makes sense. So I don't actually move the shower head. I just kind of let it rinse down, and then any of the nooks and crannies, as it were, that you want to get soap out of, I just use the loofah again in its soap empty mode to clean
some
myself
would call
off.
it soapless, but I prefer soap empty.
I was trying to think of a second word. I was thinking of like soap void or soap. For some reason I had soap adjacent in my head, but that's not right. And so I said soap empty mode. So, you know, the soap tank was not full on my loofah.
Yeah. No,
but yeah, so I always just do that, man.
Maybe that's the difference then, right? You have a loofah. I know a few people that use loofahs. I've never used one.
They're great, man. They're fantastic.
Yeah, no, I never used one.
Do you just use like your hand or?
I would use my hands. Yes,
man,
yes, I would use my
you're paying
hands.
too much for shower gel. It goes so much further with a loofah. Like whenever you put in a loofah, it kind of foams up a bunch, and you get to go much further with much less. I'm saying, pay for itself in droves. They're like £1 as well. You can get a loofah real cheap, man.
Yeah, my girlfriend uses a loofah. Maybe I should try it. She's got one
it exfoliates real nice as well. It's good stuff, you know.
Yeah, I might nick hers actually, and just try it. I do go through shower gel actually quite a bit, so I think that might be a worthy investment.
So,
but yes, I do unhook and I rinse, right?
See, again, the thing. So okay, I think there's also a difference here in that you currently are in a cubicle, correct? When you're doing this,
correct.
Yeah.
Yes,
so this is the different thing.
Yeah.
My shower is in a bathtub, right? So I have a bath, and then there's a shower that just is on the wall next to the bath, right? And so I have to stand in the bath to do my shower, and then there's just like a little foldable like door.
Yes,
glass door that then extends out to stop the shower water going everywhere. And I think this is also where the difference comes in, because if I take the shower off the head and start doing like this and moving it around, I'm going to get water on my window, I'm going to get water on the bath mat, I'm going to get water on the wall. Like it's not, I can't, I could, if I was careful with it. I don't want to be that careful, man, when I'm taking a shower. I just want to stand there and clean.
So you have that risk then. This is why I strongly dislike shower over baths.
Yeah.
I actually have 2 bathrooms. I have one with the shower over bath, and then one which is a cubicle. Yep. I would use the bathroom with the shower over bath. It's a better bathroom, but I exclusively use the bathroom with the cubicle in just because I dislike shower over baths that intensely because of the risk, right, of getting stuff everywhere. So it is fair that that kind of influences your desire to have it placed,
to be fair,
in its fixed shower head.
So
position.
I've never had a cubicle style shower in the places that I've lived. They've always been shower over baths. I've only ever used cubicle showers when I'm out and about, and I do prefer a cubicle shower. I would prefer to have one. Even then, when I've used them, it's probably just force of habit at that point. But whenever I've gone to a hotel or gone on holiday, I've also never moved the shower head, right? I just leave it where it is, and I do the stuff. That might change if I did it regularly, like if I had regular access to a cubicle shower. But for me, man, I'm all about the stationary position.
Okay, interesting. Very interesting. So that kind of leads back to this shower head, right, that I witnessed. Now, usually when you've got a rain shower or a fixed shower head position, it's quite big, right? Like it's a big old thing. It's got lots of holes, and the water just falls onto you.
Yeah, you're talking about like a top-down, like flat, and it just comes directly down onto you.
Yes, exactly.
How do you feel about these showers?
I quite like rain showers. So my routine is that if I encounter these showers with the complimentary portable one, quote unquote, I will use the portable one. I'll wash myself. But when I need to wash my hair, then I'll switch the rain shower on, and I'll kind of wash my face like this, and then I'll wash my hair like this, and then I'll step back, shampoo, step back in.
See, this
rinse,
is I like the way that the rain showers look, right? In the bathroom. Like I think they look nice when they're stationary and stuff. But I don't think I prefer it, man. I prefer the slightly angled kind of shower experience. Because I don't know what it is. I don't want the water on my face, right? Like dripping on my face actively. I quite like being able to kind of tilt my head back a little bit, rinse my hair in the shower that's there, and if I want to wash my face, I can just turn around and wash my face right into the stream of water. I don't know if I love the rain style showers, the stationary ones, personally.
Yeah. I never used to like them. I think it's more of like I just feel so warm because it's just covering my whole self
everywhere.
With hot water. Yeah. And I only use it for the very end of the shower cycle. It'll just be for washing hair. And if I'm not washing my hair, I won't turn it on at all because my hair will get wet if I did.
Yeah. So this shower.
Yes. This shower. This shower. So I've never seen anything like it because it's stuck in place.
It is, yes.
And at first, I thought that the shower head on the right, the frontmost shower head, would be detachable in some way. It looks like there might even be some kind of there's like a ridge right just above it. So I was like, can I take that off? no, you can't take that off. But the actual shower heads themselves are shaped like the shower head that you'd find on like a portable telescopic. Not telescopic, but like a portable hose shower. Right, yeah, can you imagine a telescopic shower head? Right?
Yeah.
So I was like, what? So so there was three of us,
They look like
right?
they're like adjustable like this. They look like they're kind of like rotatable slightly.
So here's the thing. So we were like, what the hell is this? Because this was the only shower in our accommodation. So we like tried to like pull it out and it just creaked. So we were like, okay, this is not removable. Then we discovered it could pivot, right? The whole thing could pivot.
Oh, the
like
whole
this.
arm can
the
pivot.
whole arm can pivot.
Oh, that makes sense. Given looking at it, yeah.
Yeah, and it was quite nice because I kind of pulled it down a bit because I'm shorter. And you're right, the shower heads themselves could then rotate in their position, right?
Yeah.
So fine. I actually turned it on and I actually angled both shower heads, so they both they're both streams combined into one.
Right.
But like a bit of a power shower. But what I've never seen is a shower head like that with two normal shower heads on that then have adjustable spray patterns within the shower heads as if it was in its like, you know, if it was like a hose
portable
one,
mode,
right? A telescopic portable mode one. So you could like put them onto jet mode, right? With concentrate showers and you could wash your hair with these two kind of strong jets just like pigging off your head. It was so weird.
At home, does your shower have these multiple spray pattern modes?
So this
is my next question.
This was the reason why I put. This is what this was all leading up to, Isaac.
I'm glad it was going somewhere.
This is the topic, right? The topic is: do you use the different spray modes on your shower? And if so, what is your preferred spray modes?
So yes, my shower head has like 4 spray modes. It's got like jet wash mode, which is just like really concentrated beam in the center that just blasts water down. Then there's like 3 other modes that are all kind of similar, I think, in terms of their just kind of standard rain pattern. I never swap modes for one.
Okay.
I keep one mode set and forget. And I just kind of go with the one that like uses, I think, the most holes, but still has good pressure. Like I want a high pressure shower, but I want the most kind of coverage possible. What about you, man? What are you using?
Yes. So my shower head, I actually have a shower head that I've owned for many years, actually across many
because you keep unscrewing it and rescrewing it into new places.
Yeah, right. It's my trusty shower head. I take it with me everywhere I go. The reason I bought it was because a few years ago when I was at university, I was living in a student house that had a very nice bathroom. Actually, it was an ensuite bathroom that I had, and it had a hose pipe shower head, right? But that wasn't adjustable. And when you turn the shower on, the individual jets of water were just really harsh. Like they hurt. And it was horrible. So I then bought that shower head and I love it. So I've been taking it with me everywhere I go. So my shower head's a bit of an interesting one.
So in your university accommodation, would you put your shower head on and leave it? Or would you put your shower head on when you were going to shower and then take it off and like carry it back with? Because I assume it was a shared shower situation, or was this like a individual ensuite situation?
So this was an individual ensuite situation.
I see. Okay.
So
I imagined you having like a shared accommodation with like 5 other people. You carrying your shower head to the bathroom, putting it on, and then afterwards taking it off again and taking it back with you to your room.
I enjoy my own comforts in life, but that is too much effort. So no, this was fixed in place for like 2 years, right?
Right.
It's quite a weird shower head. I think it's called a Mirror 360. So we can find this. The reason is because this is the shower head that was in my parents' home, right? And I got used to that for many years, and so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna get this one because of the Mirror 360 shower head.
Yeah.
So it's quite weird because unlike a traditional shower head, it doesn't have like a little toggle that you kind of twist.
Yeah, that's what mine has.
And it changes spray patterns. That's what my other bathroom has. This and this, you actually twist the entire shower head. So the shower head is within a frame, and you twist the shower head within the frame, and you can twist it even on its sides, and it's got like jet wash mode on each side, and then it's got the normal shower spray pattern as its default, and then if you flip it 180 degrees, it's got like almost like a mist mode, right, where it kind of like sprays water on you like it's some kind of water fountain, and that is actually my preferred shower head mode.
Mist mode.
It's just because it kind of just it just throws loads of water at you, right? It's hard to explain. It's
I love the idea of you being like, I want a shower head that throws loads of water at me. You know, one that just throws the water at you. I hate when you have to pull the water from the shower. That's horrible. Yeah, I really want one that will throw water at me. That'd be great.
It's like rain almost. It's like rain. It's very hard to explain. You know when you go when you've got a hose pipe and you put your finger on the end of the hose pipe.
No, I understand what you. Yeah. No,
it's like that. But lots of little holes that do that. For the benefit of the people viewing as well or listening in. So that's my preferred mode. I use jet wash mode, right? And the jet wash mode on this head is like a jet wash. It's like a thin, wide, powerful spray. Right. And that
I'm starting to, I think we mentioned like a few episodes ago, we were talking about like length of showers, and I'm starting to understand why your showers are taking longer. It's because you've got you're not using a loofah. It's going to take you longer, man. And you're spending 45 minutes swapping out your shower head settings every little activity that you do.
But my showers are getting
and then you're
shorter,
unhooking
Isaac.
it and moving it around. And
they're getting shorter.
For me, I leave it stationary. I don't change the settings. I get in, I use my loofah, I get out. Like
my showers are getting shorter. That was what I said. I'm having words put in my mouth. And the jet wash mode on this shower head, Isaac, is my loofah.
Right.
Like that's what gives
that's what's removing the skin layers is the jet wash power.
That's what I'm using under my arms. That's what I'm using like in my elbow crevasse.
So I'm gonna tell you, man,
going in there.
You're gonna save money on shower gel, and by the sounds of it, you're gonna save money on water because it is so much cheaper to have the loofah do the work of removing your skin cells as opposed to blasting liters of water at every inch of your body to do the work that a loofah can do. And the loofah costs like £1, man, and it'll last you quite a while. So
I'm having not
a sponsor.
Yes, a loofah.
Yeah.
A loofah. Yes, this is what my girlfriend has.
It's like a little scrunchy ball, right?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, man. Every time I've seen these in past, I always thought it was like some kind of like hair
like a scented thing or
shower cap, right? I never actually thought they were for cleaning because I've never interacted with these properly before.
You put just a tiny bit of shower gel in, man. You get the loofah wet, right? Put a tiny bit of shower gel in it, and then kind of like mush it around in your hands, and the whole thing gets like so soapy, like unbelievably soapy, so fast. It's fantastic.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. How do they dry? Like, do they dry efficiently? Do they get grim? Is my question, I guess.
So, like, people complain. Like, people sometimes get worried about it. I guess it depends on the kind of place you live in. I don't notice any problems, right? I take it off. Like, I have it hooked on like a thing in the shower. I take it off. I wet it, right? And then I'll add my shower gel. I'll scrub down. I'll rinse it off out of soap, and then I'll wash down again to make sure I've got no soap on me. And then I just make sure it's wet but not with any soap, and then I just hang it up again. And then, it dries surprisingly quickly because it's got like a giant surface area. And I've never noticed mine get grimy. Like, you might have to buy a new one every so often. Like, you're not buying them every week, but they're also like £1. They're not, they might be like £2 now because, inflation.
Yeah.
But
yeah, of course.
I think I got mine from IKEA. Like, they're not expensive.
Okay, interesting. Maybe.
And I've yet to have one get super grimy. Like, they're fine.
Okay, I will.
Unless you're using them to like clean your kitchen floor, they are. I'm sure they're completely fine.
I will commit to before the next time we record a WHYBUT, Isaac. I will use a loofah.
Try a loofah. Nice.
Come back with my experience.
It's a life-changing experience, man. I think it's worth it.
I will do that. I'll definitely do that. Yeah, I did witness a bathroom recently that it was a bathroom at someone's place, and it had like kitchen dish scrubbing equipment in the bathroom to clean the bathroom.
Sure, yeah.
But the dish scrubbing equipment was like placed on the sink, and I was not vibing with it. But I've never seen before then people use dish, so like a literally like a dish scrubber, brush. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
like a wiry
steel
one,
wool.
or yeah. I'm gonna say steel wool is what I'm thinking of. Yeah,
both. So yeah, one steel wool, one wiry one, and then one like dish sponge. Right. I have personally never used these items to clean my bathroom.
So I think it depends here massively. Like you and I currently have dehumidifiers, and you also have a fan in your room, right? In your bathroom. Like
I do.
I don't have any kind of like extraction fan in my room that takes the moisture out or the steam. And but prior to having like an air conditioner, like it was not difficult at all for mold to appear in the bathroom, right? And if it does, then you've got to use some kind of scrubber. Like trying to get it off is tricky. So that would be my assumption there, is that they're maybe not, like they might live in a place that's kind of humid, and occasionally they get little mold spots that they just kind of want to be able to get rid of. And so
yeah, no, it's interesting. So in the bathroom that I use, I get mold all the time, right? Which is annoying because I do have an extractor fan. And this is also with ventilating the bathroom as well. So I have to just figure that out. But I use bleach spray. Bleach spray is my best defense / offense against mold. So every kind of 2 weeks or so,
spraying it on your empty walls.
Yeah, spray it on myself. Don't do that.
Don't want to get any mold. You're gonna slip and fall in Nick's bathroom. The floor's covered in a thin layer of bleach.
I did that, funnily enough, before we recorded this. Before this, I went in. I noticed there was a bit of black mold on my shower cubicle this morning, so I was like, okay. So I before I changed into this jumper, I went ahead and just bloody.
See, I think it
stinks horribly.
I think it depends on how regular you do it. Like if you didn't do that regularly, if you left the mold to kind of fester, like if the mold gets a little bit deep seated, that I find the spray like this. We also have like a black mold removal spray that works really well on like newish stuff. But if the mold's had time to like getting deeper into like those, they always get into the sealant, right? Like around the edge of the bath and stuff. Like if it gets deep, then you've got to get in there, man. You got to get scrubbing to get that stuff out.
Yeah, see, my best defense against that, if it gets on sealant, is to then actually use like bottled bleach. Right, I will open the bottled bleach and I'll just go along the sealant, and that usually kills it. The problem that I run into is that if it then appears in my bedroom, I don't want to use bleach in case it gets on the carpet, right?
You're pouring buckets of bleach on your bed sheets just to hope that no mold ever arrives.
That's it.
All down the walls.
That's it, exactly. I think I've talked about that on a previous episode where my bedroom wall was green, effectively, painted itself green with mold, about 1 meter away from where I've been sleeping for about 6 months since it started to appear, which was probably not great. But yes, no, I've not used this equipment. I use a combination of, I really like floor wipes. I will use floor wipes on other surfaces because they're just big wipes, right? And they tend to go quite far. Whenever I do use floor wipes, my fan always notifies me that I'm going to die of poisoning because there's about 10 million particles of poison in the air. And
You've got like a Dyson fan, right?
Yes, yeah. I always find that quite funny because it's specifically only these floor wipes I use that trigger it to that extent. It's like purple. It's like 999 out of 1,000. Like, you're going to die. Get out of there. And I'm like, shut up, you stupid machine. I also use, if I'm doing like a deep clean, I don't want to, these wipes come in packs of like 15, right? And I don't want to go through a whole pack of wipes. So I've got like this bathroom spray.
Yep.
And then I've got like 10 microfiber towels that I just use in the washing machine for generally cleaning the place. So I will spray that and I'll go around with these microfiber towels. And that tends to be quite effective as well. And then there's the bleach spray. So that would be my combination. So I use microfiber towels, I guess, instead of a dish
Aggressive,
sponge.
yeah.
Yes, and steel wool.
Maybe they use the steel wool instead of a toothbrush, man. Maybe they just go, going real abrasive on the teeth,
yeah. Maybe. I mean, the toothbrush is already in the bathroom, man. So I mean,
did you see toothbrushes when you were there? Are you sure? Like, are you sure they didn't just have the wire brush instead?
Maybe they use steel wool to brush their teeth.
Just aggressively going at it.
Oh yeah, great for the enamel. Absolutely brilliant for the enamel. But yes, that was those are my bathroom stories for the last couple of weeks.
That's fair enough, man.
Yeah. I also went to the supermarket yesterday. I usually go in the mornings these days, but I avoided going in the mornings because it's school half term in the UK. And I wanted to avoid screaming children and traffic.
Yeah, of any kind, yeah.
Yes. So I went in the evening. I avoided the traffic. Unfortunately, I didn't avoid the screaming children.
You can't, they're everywhere. You
can't. But I experienced something quite fun on my drive to the supermarket. When I was in the lakes, I was designated driver, and we encountered a lot of cyclists, which when you're on narrow B roads and can't see more than 10 meters ahead of you, and thus it isn't safe to overtake, it can get quite frustrating.
Just to give an idea as well here, because I feel like some people in other parts of the world, namely the US, don't understand just how narrow the roads are. The roads are, you have, I assume you're driving a fairly small car, right? Like, you're not driving like a tank.
Medium size, we'll call it. Yeah, not an SUV, but not a little dinky mobile, right?
Right,
it's got a relatively wide footprint, but it's not a big
five-seater car, though?
So it's a four-seater car.
Four-seater car, not even five-seaters. Yeah, okay. So standard car width. So if a standard car width, these roads are like less than a foot bigger than the size of the car, like either side. They are so narrow, these roads. You can only just fit down them. And the thing is that they're all, for some reason, they're two-way roads. You can't fit one car down them, or you can only just fit one car down them. And then it's supposed to be two ways. And so usually you have to kind of one person will maybe reverse back, or one person will wait like half a mile down the road until you pass them, and then they'll try and go. And I don't understand who designs these roads, man, or who designates them as not just one-way roads, but yeah, they can fit two horses. That's correct. Yeah, I think that might have been when they were designed, but
that's it. Yeah, no, exactly. I had to go through a lot of B roads on my way up because the motorway had obstructions and stuff, so we had to go on a massive detour. So cyclists weren't really in my good books leading up until
they
yesterday,
never are when you're the driver, right?
No. I mean, they never are generally.
The number of cyclists that just go through red lights, I think they want to die, man.
Oh my God.
I think they don't want to live anymore. I don't understand.
Honestly, I've had cyclists pull out on roundabouts as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think they forget that they also need to adhere to the road rules. Right?
The number of times I've been coming down and my light's green and I'm about to go straight through the green light and a cyclist comes, there's a three-lane traffic, cars waiting. Yeah, exactly. Cars are waiting. Cyclist just runs right through the red light. I'm going full speed to this green light because there's no stopping now, and I have to emergency brake to not kill this cyclist. And I don't get it, man. I do not get it.
It's ridiculous. No, it's absolutely ridiculous. I actually almost witnessed a near death when on a crossroads when it was green for the. So I was at the front of the red light, and traffic was going perpendicular to me, and two guys on electric scooters, the hireable electric scooters in towns, just went straight through the red, and a car missed them by it's got to be a meter, right? Yeah. They just got in front, and this car just went behind them. And I was sitting with my girlfriend at the time. We were like, "Holy crap!" Even the guys on the scooters were like.
But I mean, there's kind of no reason not to, outside of not wanting to not die. If you drive through a red light as a car, you're going to get clocked by a traffic camera, and they're going to send you a fine, right, and put points on your license.
Yes,
there's no way to identify a cyclist, right? They don't have a license plate. They're just going to run through, and then you can just drive away. It's. Oh, but I don't get it. Just a quick cyclist rant there. I'm certain that 95% of cyclists are good people.
Yes,
and I encourage cycling. I want more people to cycle. But at the same time, the small minority of cyclists who want to die actively, they give cyclists a bad rap every time.
Yeah, and I will also bring in the moped drivers who are usually delivering food to this arc as well, because they tend to do these exact same things as well, where they will just ignore all road rules and traffic lights, but they do have license plates. So I guess they're just more more lawless, I guess. But
well, it's like I get that they're working, but the amount of times that I will see like Uber drivers, like or like Uber Eats drivers, I guess more specifically, just park on double yellows everywhere is crazy as well. Like the amount of the crazy parking they do, you know, the crazy illegal parking they do, where they'll just be parked haphazardly wherever they want to be parked. It's madness.
Yeah, them and
madness.
Delivery drivers, general delivery drivers. Like the amount of like vans I see just parked in the most horrendous locations.
Just oftentimes dangerous though. Like I'll turn a blind corner and they'll be right there on the corner where I was about to drive into them, and it's just whew.
That's it. I was I was on my way to the supermarket yesterday, right? Yeah. And I was on a road driving. Time probably about 6 p.m. And there was a cyclist in front of me. Now this was quite this is a residential road, let's say. So I was like, bloody hell, right? I'm going to be stuck behind the cyclist like for like another mile or so, right? I'm going to have to slow down. I'm probably not going to be able to overtake. And then I realized that I wasn't slowing down. This cyclist was cycling at like 25 miles per hour. This was like not even like a, you know, you see sometimes people with the helmets and like racing bikes and they're in like cycling gear, right? No, this was just a normal person on a bike, right? And I was like, hold on a second. I'm doing like 20 miles an hour here. So this was a 20-mile-an-hour road. So I was like, they're pulling away. This cyclist is getting away from me. They must have these strongest legs in the world. I thought this cyclist is actually breaking the speed limit of this road. I was mortified and amazed. And like I said, this cyclist pulled away. It disappeared eventually. By the time I got to a roundabout. Yeah, by the time I got to a roundabout I needed to get to then turn to go to go the rest of the way to the shops that I needed to get to, this cyclist had left me for dust. I couldn't believe it. So cyclists, well done.
Well done. I care less about cyclists breaking the speed limit because, like, they're less likely to hurt somebody, right? Like, they're not obviously if you go 35 in a 20 zone and you hit somebody, then they're probably not going to come out that well. Whereas if a cyclist is just less likely to hit somebody in general, I guess. But one more pet peeve, tiny little pet peeve, Nick, while we're complaining about cyclists. I hate when there's a dedicated cycle lane and they choose to drive like 3 feet outside of that cycle lane in the main, like there's a lane for the cars and then there's a cycle lane, a pretty ample cycle lane next to it, and they choose to just drive like on the line between the two, like on the line between the cycle lane and the main lane. So you still got to slow down and kind of move out a bit to get around them. And it's just, I'm like, there's a cycle lane. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Get in the cycle lane. You want to die?
Right. It's terrible. I've noticed a lot more. So for context, to international and actually probably quite a lot of domestic viewers as well, the what's called the Highway Code, which is the British road rules, changed. I want to say last year, but maybe it was the year before, and it basically increased the legally required amount of space that a driver should overtake a cyclist by, right? So it used to be, X amount of meters. So when you're overtaking a cyclist to go past them, you had to be a minimum of, it would have been probably back then, let's say 2 meters. I could be wrong. I think it probably is wrong, but 2 meters away. Now I think that's increased to like 5
Which is still
meters.
Impossible, right? Like I feel like 2 meters is impossible. Like you can't, still 2 meters hard. For the reference is like 6 foot. It's just over 6 foot for international non-metric users. And then 5 meters is like what, 15 feet or something. It's like it's the roads aren't 15 feet wide.
Comfortably in the oncoming lane, really, with these new
you're constantly in the grass next to you on the field.
Right.
You're driving into the co-op. That's on the other side of the road.
That's why so many people bought Range Rovers, Isaac, because they have to go off road to overtake cyclists.
The SUV boom is just people
That's
mounting
it.
walls.
That's why.
As they get around cyclists.
Yes, so that's changed. But what I've noticed is to amplify this issue that's arose with having to leave more space when you're overtaking cyclists is there's a lot more swervers that I've noticed. So cyclists that are kind of swerving it just into the middle of the lane of the road.
Yeah.
Right? They're just kind of in the middle. And I'm like, and they're like, so they'll maybe be to the side. And I'll be like, okay, looks pretty good opportunity to overtake. The road's pretty straight. No one coming on the other side. And then they'll just swerve into the middle of the road. And I'm like, oh my God, like, this is like, now I've got to like go really far across. So it's just become a lot more tricky to overtake cyclists, I found recently. And I don't want to end up on one of those TikTok videos from cyclists with head-mounted cameras that are trying to get drivers into trouble for not adhering to the 5-meter rules. So I end up just being stuck a lot of these days behind cyclists. But cyclists, please go straight. Go straight and keep to the left of the road, please.
Stay in the cycle lane.
Stay in the cycle lane. Stay in the cycle lane. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Oh, I was at supermarket today, man. I made some tiramisu, man, for the first time ever. Yeah. How do you feel about tiramisu, man?
I very much enjoy a tiramisu.
Good stuff,
I do
right?
like tiramisu. Yes, very nice.
Made an ungodly amount of tiramisu, Nick.
I'm expecting a big tray of the stuff.
I made a tray of it. The picture I'm going to send you is a slice of tiramisu.
Okay, let's have a look.
Nick, was this stuff ever delicious?
Oh, very good.
Was so good. I made an entire...
look at that.
Yeah, right.
That looks great. Very nice.
No, it is surprisingly good. You know what? I might be able to send you a photo of the... Oh, yeah, here you go. Here's a photo of inside of my fridge where you can see the giant tray of tiramisu there that I made.
Oh yeah, that is a tray of tiramisu.
I've been going around to friends and family giving away tiramisu because we made
nice.
far too much of it.
Desserts are sorted for a while then.
But man, it's so good. It's not that difficult of a recipe, right? Like there's no cooking, basically no cooking involved. It's like it's a cold dessert. And so there are ladyfingers, also known as like sponge fingers, right? Which are the kind of base of this. And the trickiest bit, so it's not the cheapest dessert to make. Like you could make like a chocolate cake, I imagine, for cheaper. The reason it cost me a lot more than normal baking, I imagine, is that I bought new beans. Like I bought some like dark roast espresso beans. And I had to pull like 12 shots of espresso because you dunk the ladyfingers into this like solution, right? So you make I took 12 shots of espresso, like 600 ml or something of espresso. These are double shots, by the way. And then I added like a little vanilla extract and some cocoa powder to this mix, and you kind of mix it in. And then you do like a quick dunk, like 2 seconds, 1-2 dunk with each of the ladyfingers, and you lay them on like flat on the bottom of the tray. And you got 2 levels of ladyfingers, right? With like this creamy custard mixture on top of each layer, right? And so obviously that brings the price up a little bit. And then also there's cognac in it as well. So I had to go buy some, and I didn't have any cognac, you'll be surprised to find out. So I had to go buy some, I bought some Hennessy or something. So I paid like 40 quid for a bottle of cognac at the supermarket. But we have it now, so I can make more in the future.
Yes.
But then the mixture in the middle is like cream, mascarpone cheese, cognac, and eggs. And then you kind of just make like this thick kind of custardy cream cheese mix that you then lay on top of the ladyfingers, and you do another layer, more ladyfingers, and then just dusting of cocoa powder on top, man. And it is fantastic. So also, do the shots have to be hot or cold? So you pull the shots hot. I don't think you can pull a cold shot of espresso, but at least I can't with my machine. But then you kind of pull it all at the start and just leave the thing at the side. So it was cold by the time I actually did the dunking. It wasn't like hot coffee that I was putting it in.
I see. You leave it to cool down. A bit like the tea in our upcoming Coke-based video, which might already be out.
It's not out.
On YouTube. Look at that. There you go. Yeah, it's quite interesting, tiramisu. It's almost like a dessert lasagna, almost. It
is, right? It's an interesting little product, but that's the tiramisu. That's a slice of the tiramisu that I made.
Yeah, it looks good.
But man, it is so good. I kind of wish I could send you some, man, but we don't have that.
Yeah, I want to try
technology.
some.
Oh man, it is delicious.
I should have a crack at making some.
It's good.
Tiramisu to me has always been like whenever I have it at a restaurant, right, I usually order it for dessert if I'm at an Italian restaurant. I always find it to be quite light.
Yes.
Like it's a, very airy, spongy, you put your spoon in it, you take it out, and it's quite airy and light. But after just describing the ingredients list to me, it's like it's got some heavy stuff in it.
So it is quite light because like you take the cream, in this case I use double cream, and you whip it right until it's like almost firm, right? You do an aggressive whip on it, but that does make it lighter than it otherwise would be, right? And then you add in some cream cheese, and then there's like a whole custard making step and stuff where I think the traditional recipe uses like egg whites. Mine didn't have any egg whites in it. Mine just used the egg yolks, so it's like a slightly different recipe. But it you kind of do create this like lighter air of it, and obviously the lady fingers, if you've ever tried them, are basically just air. They're almost empty, right? And that's why they do so well with the soaking, because you dunk them and they very quickly absorb a lot of liquid. Because when you first get them in a box, they are very firm. They're like super crunchy, right?
Right.
They're like you can snap them, right? Is how hard they are. And then as soon as they hit liquid, they like almost dissolve instantly. if your liquid is hot, like when we first got them, my girlfriend had like a cup of tea, dunk them in, and they get soft so fast, right? Like they get mushy very quickly, especially in hot liquid. And so you got like they also add to the airiness, right? You kind of get this airy, soft but cakey texture, and then like I say, it's just kind of like light cream and stuff. Obviously, it's still bad for you. It's got cream and cheese and eggs and sugar as well is in there, and so it is a lot. But man, it's delicious. It's so good.
Yeah, no, that sounds really nice. Like on a similar vein, like I'm making lasagna tonight, right? Ooh. And I was looking at recipes. Yeah, great stuff. Well, this is the thing, right? I went on a recipe and I was like, okay, I'm going to write my shopping list. This was the reason why I was going to the shops yesterday when I then encountered the cyclist. I was like, going to get ingredients for this, and I was like, okay, lasagna, bit of cheese, sheets of pasta, beef mince, bit of passata, right?
Yeah.
Now the thing that I forgot, because I've had homemade lasagna before, but I've never actually made it, is the white sauce, right?
Yeah.
So I went on the recipe and
it's like a bechamel sauce, right? Usually.
Yes. So it said you need your beef mince, your tomato passata, your mozzarella cheese, and then your other bits, kind of your general bits and bobs, right? And then your white sauce. So I was like, yes, white sauce. Okay, I need to make some white sauce. So I clicked on the recipe for white sauce, and it's like, buy whole milk and buy like a block of butter and then mix the two together with a bay leaf and some cloves.
And that's it. Yeah.
Right? And I was looking at it, I was like, oh my God. I was like, holy crap. I'm making a 2-person lasagna, right? And this is like, it's like, per person, 65 grams of fat, like 25 to 30 grams of saturated fat. I was like, holy crap. So I've abandoned making that white sauce and I purchased instead some lighter white sauce, right, in the hopes that it won't, cut too many months off my life in one sitting.
Lasagna is so good, but it's so easy to make like a lasagna for two that is like 2,500 calories for like just for the two slices.
That's
like 1,250 calories per slice or something. It's madness.
It. No, exactly. Like I don't know if you've ever tried the M&S lasagna.
I have not.
Marks and Spencer's do like a lasagna. They do a pie as well. It's like their I forgot what they call it. It's like their fancy versions. I think it's called the best, perhaps.
I think Morrison's do the best. I don't know what M&S do.
I think I wonder if they both do the best, because you are right, Morrison's is also called the best. But it's they have a standard
be the best,
tier,
right? Like
that's true.
Practically impossible.
That's true.
I would hedge my bets that if they are both quote the best, that it's actually saying M&S who are the best. I would not put my faith in Morrison's actually being the best.
It's called Our Best Ever. That's their correction. So it's called Our Best Ever.
See, theirs is our best. Morrison's is the best.
It's the best. So Morrison's are actually placing themselves above, right? We're going to have to do some testing there. But you are right. I think the verdict's probably going to be leaning towards Marks and Spencer. They do it as part of their £12 deals where you get that and you get a side and a starter or whatever, right? So I've done that a couple of times, but I pick up the lasagna, right? And I pick up the pie they do, like a steak pie, and I look at the nutritional information, and I'm like, oh, that looks pretty unhealthy for 2 people. And then I realize that the nutritional information on the side is per person. E.g., I'm looking on the side of this packet and thinking, damn, this lasagna contains a lot of calories and fat. And then I realize that the calories and fat that it's telling me it's got on the side is for half of the lasagna / pie. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
There are many days of the week where I don't consume as much dense stuff as there is in one portion of this singular lasagna and pie, right? It's like, I think one of them was like, I think it was touching on almost 70 grams of fat. And I was like, I must reconsider. I went through with it. And got them and they were great, but I was actively conscious of the calories that I was consuming when having them. And I think I did feel quite tired afterwards, right?
I mean, it's tricky, right? Because it's kind of just like, it's like a pizza that is 5 times taller than a slice of pizza. Right? It's kind of like eating 5 slices of pizza, but instead of bread, it's pasta, which is not any better. But then you've still got sauce and meat and cheese and more sauce, and it's just
a lot of olive oil. As well.
Right, exactly,
large amounts of olive oil. This recipe that I found even wanted me to put like prosciutto ham on the top as like a little garnish, and I was like, nah, I ain't doing that. Like I was like, that's just too much red for one sitting. But I'm looking forward to seeing how that will turn out. You get some really cute little dishes these days. I needed a dish for it, and I got this tiny little, it's probably this big. It's a cute little dish, and I was like, oh, that'll be nice. It will probably be the most calorie dense dish that I've ever crafted. But
no, it's a lot, man. I have the same kind of feeling whenever I think about making like good mac and cheese, because it's the same kind of deal. You got pesto already, and then it's like, okay, so quickly grate 450 grams of cheddar, and you're like, wait, this is for 2 people? And it's also like, get your milk. You do the same kind of thing where you get your milk, and then you get like a kilo of butter, and you throw that in, and you melt it down, and you add your little flour to make a roux, and then you make the cheese sauce with the cheese, and then you've got the pesto on top of that, and it's like, man, it's too good, but it doesn't. It's gonna kill you.
It is very good. It is very good. But yeah, I always have good intentions with these things. I'm like, I'm going to cook at home. I'm not going to order out. I'm going to make something nice. And then I'll make something, and afterwards, I'll be like pouring the oil in. And I'm like, oh God, please
quick
no.
drizzle of olive oil.
It's like those Marco Pierre White videos on YouTube where he's like, just a little splash of olive oil. He's like, glug, 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 glug. Half the bottle goes in.
100 ml in there.
And I'm like, right, so this is why restaurant food is so nice. Right, I understand.
Man. Yeah.
I understand
now. Thing though, like 100 ml of olive oil is like 850 calories, man. It is something staggering, and it's just oil.
This is why on all of those food delivery box sponsor spots that you see on YouTube, they're always on about how the talking points about how eating out is unhealthy. That's why eating out is unhealthy. It's those glugs, people. It's those glugs. You always notice it when you get curry as well, right? And they send it to you, and the oil has made its way to the top, and you'll have your like layer of shimmering oil, and you have to like mix it in, and you're like, oh no, I'm mixing it in. I'm going to eat this.
Yeah, and then you choose to dunk bread into it as well.
Exactly. Yes, with bread that has lots of butter like melted on top to give it a nice glaze.
Yeah, right.
Oh dear, eat it out.
Yeah, it's a lot, man. It's a lot.
It is.
Food.
It is.
Oh, it's so good though, but it's so bad.
It is.
It's not fair, man. It's not fair.
It isn't. It isn't.
Someone needs to develop a way to allow us to eat food, but then not process it. Right? We need like just a separator, just like a filter, just after the like esophagus, right? That maybe it lets in the first 2,000 calories of the day, But then after that, the valve shuts off, and the rest of it just goes to like straight. Just to put a shortcut straight to the straight to the exit. Yeah, exactly.
Straight to exit. That's what we need. That is true.
Exactly right.
Give it 20 years. It might be the latest in weight loss surgery.
I'm ready for it, man. I'm ready for it. Unfortunately, though, Nick, we're out of time for this episode of the What Have You Been Up To podcast. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed and you haven't done so already, you can go ahead and hit follow or subscribe. Or you can follow us and subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts. We're available Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify. We're everywhere. You can also rate the podcast as well. 5 stars, if you would. It helps us out a little bit with discovery and whatnot. For now, though, thank you for listening, and we'll talk at you next time.
Goodbye, everybody.